the heroes on the front line and online, to the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful, to those who don't stop and those making all the stops, to the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
OnSideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next, it's time for Kai's Corner on OnSideRadio.com. OnSideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds.
Can you count, suckers?
Here's your On-Side Radio E-Report with Michael Christian.
Warzone. Call of Duty's Battle Royale is finally getting an update, but it's not the update everyone was hoping for. The latest leaked footage shows a brand new live-action trailer for the new changes coming to Warzone. Specifically, the changes are going to take the map of Verdansk and move it back to the 1980s. A lot of players were hoping that it would be a new map entirely, however, it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. You can expect these changes to happen after a live in-game event that will take place April 22nd, and you don't want to miss it. Just make sure when you do, you have an AUG and an FFAR, because if you don't have those, you ain't got nothing.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the On-Side Radio E-Report. It's time for Kai's Corner on OnSideRadio.com. To talk to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. To reach out on the text line, it's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm on your home for sports talk, OnSideRadio.com.
Good morning here at beautiful Inter Miami CF Stadium. I am that man, Kai Chen Chisholm. You can follow me, of course, on Twitter at Samurai Radio. That's 2 I's in Samurai. Good morning, NorCal. I already see you here on the chat. Hope everybody is having a great day. And if you aren't sure of what I was mentioning there with the chat, it is the YouTube chat on the YouTube live stream. You can go ahead and look at that, or not. Well, I mean, you can come in and watch and enjoy. I think it's a lot of fun. Sit here, talk with you guys. So if you're listening anywhere and you want to come talk on YouTube and see everything live, you can come and do that as well. We'll have a conversation, enjoy our time as we go throughout the next 2 hours of not only my day, but yours. As always, Sean Stanley, the producer of all producers, who does have his show on Saturdays, where he talks about wrestling, is here. Sean, how are you doing on this beautiful Tuesday morning?
Get off our show!
All right, so that's you had that very much prepared. That's actually kind of funny. That was all right. So Sean's doing well, I think. I will have Sean, of course, whenever he comes through. We have our polls for the day today. We're going to send those into the YouTube chat as well. So if you don't already, or you can't already find it, easy access for you there to be able to get through and get it as quickly as possible. You have until about 12:30 to vote on those polls, and you can get your opinion out through there as well, out through the comment section, and you can kind of hear everything and see everything and kind of just, again, having a conversation and stuff like that. So first poll on the day for today, this beautiful Tuesday, is who has the brighter future for the Dolphins? Answers are in a running back form. Is it Myles Gaskin or Savon Ahmed? Gaskin taking it away, 81.5% of the vote. Savon Ahmed with 18.5% of the vote. We will ask Omar Kelly his thoughts on the running back position when he comes on in hour 2, that at 11:30. Second one is, what is your confidence level for the Miami Heat to make a deep playoff run? Extremely high, mid-tier, or as low as it can be. Right now, mid-tier is in the lead at 47.8%, 44.4% at extremely high, and 7.8% as low as can be. Number 3, are you okay with the Texas Rangers opening to full capacity for sporting events? Option 1 is I hate it here at 58.9%, and option 2 is pack the house, baby, at 41.1%. Then lastly, are you watching the Champions League quarterfinals over the next 2 weeks here? First matchups happen today and tomorrow, and then next week will be the reverse fixtures, also on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And it says, yes, football over everything at 61.1% of the vote, so that's leading the way right now. And then no, soccer isn't a sport at 38.9%. I had to include that so I can see if people really believe that, because I think soccer is a sport. And Sean was like, oh, it's kind of messed up that you included saying that. I believe soccer is a sport, obviously, but, some people don't watch it because they don't think soccer is a sport. They think it's boring, Sean.
Yeah, but then put 2. No or no because it's not a sport.
Nah. Yeah.
Now you've grouped everybody together. I'm not going to watch it, but I think it's a sport.
Well, now I gotta get those people out there. So, hey, those people that voted no, they said soccer's not a sport. You should watch today, Sean. It's going to be good.
You made me
matchups.
watch that one game, and no, I'm done.
Did you actually watch that one
game? I
game?
gave it a shot. Yes, I gave it a shot.
Damn.
It was the one game you told me to watch. I watched it. I'll be watching my team, the Inter Miami CF, very soon.
That was a good adjustment there. Very good adjustment.
I know what I'm doing.
So can we? I want to see if we can play that sound from Brandon Marshall, because I want to just mention that right now. I sent it a little late, so shout out to Juan, or Sean. Excuse me. I don't know why I said Juan. It's because Juan's the one that sent it in the chat. I sent it because wasn't gonna talk about really anything regarding Brandon Marshall, but once I saw it, I was like, all right, I have to reference this and bring it up because it's kind of funny. If you watch the I Am Athlete podcast, that's where you have guys like Channing Crowder, Chad Ochocinco, Brandon Marshall, and then I don't know the name of the other person. I'm completely mistaken. But Brandon Marshall was going off on yesterday's show, and this is what happened in this little clip.
Y'all talking about because y'all talking about the NBA, everybody got guaranteed contracts, and it's false. They do. Searching this, and I'm telling you, it's the truth. No, they don't. Not everybody that's on the NBA roster have a guaranteed.
There's two-way contracts. There's two-way contracts,
No, it's not.
and then there's
Y'all
the
know what
top
I'm talking
dog.
about.
There's the top dog.
No, it's not. There's 4 guys on the NBA team that got guaranteed contracts, and everybody else can be cut today and don't got nothing.
And don't have nan dime.
Look it up. Look it up. Look it up. It's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed.
So who has a better structure, the NBA or the NFL?
Everything y'all saying is what I'm saying. It's now you finally got the Russell Wilsons of the world finally saying something y'all talking about because.
So,
You know what, though? After watching that, like, when Toast was talking earlier, he's like, as long as I say it loud and I say it like I know what I'm talking about, people will believe me. He was changing. Everybody in that room was right except for him, and he changed them to believe that.
you can't even go on the heel side of that. You want a WWE wrestling heel so bad, and you can't even do it.
I don't understand how this turned into this. He's standing up over him like, I know what I'm talking about. Only 4 guys get paid. Everybody else can be cut today.
I don't look, and it's nothing against Brandon Marshall. I think Brandon Marshall has done great things with the I Am Athlete podcast. I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy watching it more so because I love Chad Ochocinco.
As do I, by the way. I'm just
okay. I love watching it. I think it's really entertaining. I think the conversations that they have are extremely deep and extremely important. I think that they do a lot, and they kind of it's like. Again, I think that the reason why I like the Pat McAfee show so much and why I like to reference it a lot is because it's 2 different things. It's one, it's the feeling of you and your friends sitting there talking, and you have those in the case of the I Am Athlete podcast more than the Pat McAfee show. You have those situations and you have those moments where things get extremely deep and personal, and you can sit there and you embrace what's happening at the same time. And you can sit down and talk about it. And those moments happen when you're sitting and talking with your friends. And you might not talk about it a lot, but they happen. And those are deep conversations where you learn a lot about your friends and people who you're around. Good morning, Troy, out there on the YouTube comments. What happened? Oh, I don't want to reference that.
Yeah, I never mind. Go do your thing.
So you have those moments with your friends all the time. And I think the I Am Athlete podcast does that very well because they really sit there and they talk about the deep things. I know, they've talked about mental health. They've gone through and they've talked about situations of players and contracts. And when it comes to the NFL specifically, of course, very, very detailed. I think they do a great job. Chat Against Science is extremely funny. It's everything that they do. I think that they do a very good job. Now, I highly disagree with Brandon Marshall strictly off the fact that NBA contracts are fully guaranteed unless you sign a deal. The only situation I saw, and I was even looking myself, and the only one I found, which is something else that someone brought up in the comments on Twitter as well, were oh, well, Dwight Howard's contract wasn't fully guaranteed with the Lakers last season. That's completely true until they made that contract fully guaranteed in January of said season, and he had a fully guaranteed contract. You can sign non-guaranteed. Good morning, Gus. You can sign non-guaranteed contracts in the NBA. It's completely possible. However, the majority of NBA contracts, if we have to really put percentage, let's say 99% of NBA contracts are fully guaranteed. That's the same reason why you have people getting bought out, not cut. It's the reason why a guy like Hassan Whiteside is still getting his 4-year, $72 million contract, because he will get all of that money, because that is what happens. They get fully guaranteed deals. So whatever money they get, they're going to get. And the only reason why they would be in a bad position is if they were out there, having to sign one of those maybe non-guaranteed deals. And even then, when they get bought out, that gets stretched over years. When Luol Deng got bought out, his contract was being paid for over years. That doesn't just, that money gets there. It's like baseball. Bobby Bonilla Day, that money is going to get there no matter what, because it's in the contract, it's in the details, it's in fine print. They are guaranteed. So though I disagree with him, and I think it's hilarious, I will say I love what the I Am Athlete podcast does, and the House of Athlete, and everything that they do. I think it is fantastic. And it's one of those things, again, where even I see myself, where, again, they talk about the hard stuff that not a lot of things, not a lot of shows, not a lot of people talk about, and they put it out there, and they put out the weak moments, and they don't cut, and they don't try to get through. They put it out there, and they give it their all, and they do what's needed to be done. Yeah, there's a couple cuts here and there, but if something's happening, that gets put out there, and it's not off of the moment of, oh, I'm going to feel weak, it's not this, it's not that. That stuff goes out there. So I think that they do a great job. But that was just funny because, Brandon Marshall, listen, man, NBA contracts are fully guaranteed. Like, that's just how it is. That's why you don't get players who get cut. You get players, again, who get bought out. If they weren't fully guaranteed, guys like, oh my God, I can't remember his first name, Roberts, that played for the Heat for a while. You have guys like, Myers Leonard wouldn't still be on a roster. You have guys like Hassan Whiteside. You have guys like Luol Deng when he was starting to get towards the end of his. The Lakers bought him out, and he was still getting paid when they paid him that big contract. They get bought out, and they get their money, and it stays. It might not go against the cap, but they get their money, and it happens. No matter what, they get their money, and they get their due. So I just thought it was funny. I don't know. I thought it was a great way to kind of lead in to the day, lead into the beautiful morning, where today we'll be watching a lot of the beautiful game, unlike Sean, who is refusing to do so. But we'll talk about the beautiful game, and maybe I can get Sean to watch one more game. Maybe I can get him to... Sean, would you be willing to watch one more soccer game? Oh, you're looking for a sound. You can't, just one. You are an idiot. Where the hell did you find that sound?
Roll Tide!
Wait, where did you... For those of you who don't know who that last sound was, that was Marsh saying Roll Tide. He's a part of the 4th and 20 podcast here every morning from 8 to 10 a.m. Before I come in. Where did you get that other sound, the You Are an Idiot sound? Where did you find that?
The great mind of Toast sent it to me.
Oh, okay. So he was able to get that over to you.
Yes.
Because that's pretty funny.
That might be your new theme song.
Damn, Sean. I didn't need that. I didn't need that.
I'm kidding.
Uh-huh. Okay. That's a lie. That's an absolute line.
Not at all.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, we're going to have on, if you missed it kind of in the first couple minutes there, Ian from Brooklyn is saying, what was that? You see, no one knows what the hell that could have been. But if you missed it at the beginning, like I said, we have our poll, so you can go. The link is over there in the chat on YouTube. And then as well, we're going to have on Ricky J. Mark. He'll come on from 5 Reasons Sports on in the first hour at about 10:34. We'll have him on. And then Omar Kelly, Sun Sentinel writer and I guess, hot take haver and someone who is very, very willing to always have conversations with people on Twitter, even if it is kind of sending a gift or something. He'll come on for our EJ Deconstruction Miami Dolphins report in the second hour, that being at 11:30. So make sure that you're staying tuned for that. Because, again, yeah, we're going to talk Heat with Ricky. We're going to talk Dolphins with Omar. I'll ask him about some of the stuff from our polls today, as will I with Ricky. And then we will talk soccer no matter what. And I'll try to see if we can get – I want to talk about soccer yesterday, but we're going to talk soccer today no matter what. And we'll get to that. Sean, could we switch cam really quick to bring up our beautiful shade here? Because I want to make sure I get this in at the beginning while it's still shining bright with that morning light. So we talk about it all the time on every single show, and it's something that, yes, of course, people might look at and you're like, oh, it's an ad read. But for a lot of us, it's not just, oh, yeah, go ahead and read an ad and yada, yada, yada. I think especially for me, too. And I say this, and I'm being completely serious. It's not just because I'm, someone who just recently graduated and I want to, move out of my my mother's house and be able to have my own home and everything or apartment or whatever it is. I really, and with the Shade Above Window Fashions, which made this beautiful drop for us, this beautiful shade that has the Onside Radio logo in the pink and black. Looks very beautiful. You can call them, by the way, at 954-434-4774. Every single time I read this, and I very, very much mean it. And if you're looking at the camera on YouTube, you can see I'm literally looking at it as it comes across through here. It just looks seamless. And that's a thing that I really love because, I don't know, I'm a snob when I look at things. And when you look, it's more specifically, it's those sliding doors. If you ever see those sliding doors that don't always come together and they look stupid, I don't like those. This one, especially with the shade, comes up, comes down, doesn't even look like it's there. To order protection, they teamed up with Bandelux to make it for us with the Onside Radio logo on it in the pink and black. To order protection with style for your home or office like we did, call A Shade Above Window Fashions at 954-434-4774. You can also go to the website, ashadeaboveflorida.com. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Miami Dolphins fans can always count on the best coverage at OnsideRadio.com. Every week, keep up with your favorite team as Dolphins writer Omar Kelly joins us with exclusive reports. And when news breaks, catch the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report on the home for Dolphins fans everywhere, OnsideRadio.com.
Enter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Welcome back to Kai's Corner. To reach out to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Back to Kai's Corner.
So yesterday, and want to shout out Matt Walker saying he likes the Gators shirt. Got my Gators jersey on, number 19. You know, greatest football school right now in Florida. So, you know.
Representing the number 19, huh?
You know what, Sean? You know what, Sean? Yeah. You know what? Yeah. I am representing the number 19.
That's right. I remember you got the new take now. About, and I'm watched the film now, and you know.
I did. Juan was not happy with me, by the way. For those of you who don't know, who might be new to the show, and thank you guys for watching as well here on YouTube and having conversations with me every single morning, definitely makes it, you know, worthwhile to make the very longish drive, come here and talk to you guys and have fun, and also be here with Sean and have fun. I do not like saying Jakeem Grant's full name. I call him number 19. However, now, after watching back a little bit of film, I still have more film to watch. Thus far throughout the film, I'm fine with calling him Jakeem 19 right now, and then seeing if we can go through and maybe get his last name back. But anyways, there's two things I want to talk about here before we bring in Ricky in the next segment and get into some basketball. I'm going to stick with some football here. The first thing is that we had a trade yesterday, which involved Sam Darnold going to the Carolina Panthers in exchange for a 6th-round pick this upcoming season in the draft, and then a 2nd-round pick next year and a 4th-round pick next year as well. I think it's hilarious. Like, I listen, man, there were people trying to say to me that, and there was an actual legitimate argument in the 5 Reasons group chat, a legitimate argument. What do you mean Fred Taylor's name? Huh? How do I forget Fred Taylor's name with the Gators jersey on? Oh, yeah. Oh, man, you're right. Mistakes have been made. I had to jump back in my mind for a second back there. Yes, Shane. I had to jump back to the previous segment when we were talking about the I Am Athlete podcast because it's Fred Taylor. That's the other one that's on there. So I don't understand. There was a legitimate argument in the 5 Reasons group chat on the chat that we have with everybody that's, you know, a contributor, everything along those lines, about Sam Darnold. And I could not believe that of all the people that we could be having an argument about on April 5th, because it was yesterday, 2021, it was Sam Darnold. I saw comparisons that, this is like the Josh Rosen situation, which it's not. And that, Jared Goff this, Jared Goff that. Sam Darnold has been a horrendous quarterback to the point where people around the league have watched his tape and don't understand what it is with him. And people really think that he's going to all of a sudden be something completely different now. We know what Sam Darnold is. I know that Adam Gase ruins quarterbacks. And I know that Adam Gase ruins offenses. And he'll come back eventually in some form and fashion in the future, because that's just what happens with NFL coaches. But Sam has never been anything special. He's never been anything special. Never, ever, ever has he been something outstanding. First season, he went 4-9, 17 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Second season went a little bit better, 19 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. But he still was not a good quarterback. He still was playing poorly. Like, stats are stats. You can look at right now Ryan Fitzpatrick's stats in the past few years and think that he was a great quarterback, and he wasn't. He was still continuing to play poor. And then this season, though the Jets were as bad as they were, 9 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Sam Darnold is not some guy that people should look at where, oh, yeah, he has a future. They can get the best out of him with Joe Brady and Matt Rule. That would be great. That would be awesome. It would be a success story. You go away from being there with Adam Gase, the quarterback killer, and you do something great and you do something special and you revive Carolina, maybe bring them back to a Super Bowl, do what Cam Newton could not. That would be great, right? That would be awesome. But that's not going to happen. He has put together 3 years of mediocre tape on film and 3 years of seeing ghosts on tape, on everything that you could watch for Sam Darnold. I truthfully do not understand, and I will never concede the fact that I think that Sam Darnold is not a good quarterback. And I think the idea that Sam Darnold has this bright future ahead of him is ridiculous. Like, I've also seen, like, you can't compare this to Carson either. Carson was having an MVP season before he got hurt and eventually is now with the Indianapolis Colts instead of the Philadelphia Eagles. I didn't see all the hype around Sam Darnold when he was coming out, and I still do not see the same hype around him. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. In from NorCal saying, I hope Sam Darnold isn't listening. He's finding out he's no good and his mom lied about him being special. I really, truthfully do not understand this hype that there is some, I don't know, something that's going to be great for Sam. I really, really don't understand it. The second thing after that is our roundtable segment for today, and I want to make a comment on it. So our roundtable for today is with a little over 3 weeks away from the NFL draft, which is extremely exciting. On Friday, we'll be exactly about 20 days away from the NFL draft. So that'll be great, and we'll be able to watch the draft and have fun and enjoy it and everything along those lines. So it says, with a little bit over 3 weeks away, what is your perfect pick for the Miami Dolphins at the number 6 spot in the 2021 NFL draft? Well, he wore this beautiful, amazing blue, orange, and white jersey last season. Not this number, though. He wore the number 84, and, he's a dominant force. He's probably the best prospect coming out of this draft, and, his name just so happens to be Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Pitts is by far the absolute number one, no doubt about it. He's there at number 6. You don't even blink. You select him because he is a freak of an athlete, and he's a hell of a player. I love Jamar Chase as well, but you pick Kyle Pitts at number 6 if he is there. If he's not there, all right, you chalk that up. It's whatever. He got picked before you. It is what it is. It happens. I do not think that if you're at number 6 and Kyle Pitts is staring you in the face, that you go a different way. You pick Kyle Pitts, number 6 overall, no matter what. That is the way to go. I don't think you go and you waver at all. He is the absolute, no doubt about it, pick at number 6. He is a freak of an athlete. He's a freak of a player. And he is just something different. Absolutely is something different. He is just an insane, insane player. And to have someone like him, listen, I love Mike Gesicki. But Mike Gesicki is nowhere close to what Kyle Pitts is. They were talking about the potential of Kyle Pitts playing NFL football last season. He is nowhere near what Kyle Pitts is. And getting a guy like Kyle Pitts in changes everything. We talk about safety blankets for Tua. That's the easiest safety blanket ever. You throw it his way, he's catching the football. So that's what I would go with. At number 6, you select Kyle Pitts no matter what. We're about to round off this segment, and then we're going to get into talking with Ricky J. Mark coming up about the Miami Heat. Something just came out about my favorite team, the Bayern Munich soccer team there in Germany. According to RMC Sport, I haven't seen it anywhere else, but this is according to RMC Sport. Serge Gnabry, winger and just overall playmaker for Bayern Munich, has tested positive for COVID-19, which will make him out of the upcoming match against Paris Saint-Germain tomorrow. PSG also has about like 10 or 12 players out. We will talk about Champions League soccer at the top of the second hour, and then we'll talk about all that. Coming up, like I said, we're going to have on Ricky J. Mark. Every day at Onside Radio, our hosts sit down at the round table to tackle the most important local or national sports headlines. The round table is podcasted daily, as is our E-Minute. You can search Onside Radio on all platforms, subscribe, rate and review, and listen to all kinds of all kinds of station segments. OnsideRadio.com is the home for, English, South Florida sports fans.
Now streaming online. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me, I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Onside Radio continues to grow. To make your life easier, you can now find your favorite sports station by downloading the MyTuner radio app and listen to your favorite OnsideRadio.com host or catch a great Inter-Miami CF match. Go to your app store, download MyTuner Radio, and search Onside Radio, the home for the South Florida sports fan.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Congratulations to the Baylor Bears. They are the NCAA men's basketball national champions after an 86-70 win over Gonzaga. It is the school's first men's basketball national title. Gonzaga already a plus 550 favorite for next year's title, with Baylor sitting at plus 850. A busy South Florida sports night. The Marlins get you started at 6:40. They host the Cardinals in the second game of the series. Sandy Alcantara is on the mound. The Florida Panthers, they're at 7 p.m. dropping the puck in Carolina. They take on the Hurricanes, looking for their 7th win in a row. And then your Miami Heat, they host the Memphis Grizzlies at the AAA tonight. Tip-off set for 8 p.m. Yesterday, the Jets and the Panthers made a trade, sending QB Sam Darnold to the Panthers for a 6th rounder in 2021 and a 2nd and 4th rounder in 2022. And finally, sources are saying Coors Field in Denver will host this year's All-Star game. That will be a sight for the Home Run Derby. This is South Florida's home for local sports talk. This is OnsideRadio.com.
To Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
Want to shout out Willie in the chat there. You know what? You're right, Willie. I am human. I should just relax. It's okay. Everything is fine here. We're going to get on Ricky J. Mark right now as we wait to get him on. I will answer this question that just came up by Matt. Do I think that Dan Mullen's time is running out in Gainesville? I think, and to put this very lightly and short here before we get Ricky on, I think that we need to see more, right? Defensively, and I know it's not 100% Dan's fault, but defensively something needs to change. Something, please, needs to change. If the defense goes out there and trots out the same horrible schemes and the same horrible play as they did this past season because of coaching, I will call for Dan's head specifically off of that. But I think offensively, Dan's done a fantastic job. He's going to have guys like Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts, Trayvon Grimes, Kadarius Toney. They're all going to be NFL draft picks. So I think he's done a great job offensively. But defensively, he needs to figure out he needs to be a head coach and figure out whatever he does there. And once he's able to figure that out, then we'll be able to get it through. I had here from Willie again. He said, relax, I'm human. Thank you for that. Then the other thing from Matt says, the only team to be concerned about taking Kyle Pitts before Miami is Atlanta. Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think that Atlanta is the only other one that kind of, and it's because they always pick tight ends. That's the big thing with Atlanta, which I think frustrates me so much, is they always, for whatever reason, they always have a tight end. I hope that they don't do it. And I hope that Kyle Pitts falls, because I've never had like the opportunity to cheer on a Florida Gator on my team, and I would love that opportunity to do so. We have Ricky J. Mark on now from 5 Reasons Sports. You can follow him on Twitter at Ricky J. Mark. Ricky, how are you doing this morning?
I'm feeling pretty good. I got my second dose of the Pfizer vaccine yesterday, and I mean, I admit I'm feeling a little sluggish, but otherwise I feel like I'm on my way to some peace of mind. How are you?
I'm doing great. I actually have my second shot in 7 days, next Tuesday actually, and I'm extremely excited. All of my friends got theirs after me, and they got Pfizer. I got Moderna, and they're already getting their second shots this week. So I'm like, damn, I have to wait another week. But I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm excited, kind of as you, to just kind of get over the hump. I want to ask Ricky, and I put it out there today in the poll, in terms of the confidence level for the Miami Heat to make a deep playoff run. Where do you sit right now in your confidence on this team to make a deep run?
So I like to think that I've been pretty consistent, that if Miami were to have made 1 to 2 trades to acquire that dynamic wing that they so desperately needed, that they would not only have a puncher's chance in the Eastern Conference, but they'd have a legitimate shot at throwing a haymaker at some of the top 3 teams in this conference and potentially getting back to the NBA Finals. I think they've got a good shot. It depends on where they're seated, how things fall into place in the NBA playoffs. But given what we've seen in the first 2 games, given what we've seen out of Victor Oladipo, especially on defense, without having had a single practice with the team until yesterday, I think Miami fans have a good reason to feel very confident heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that right now Vic is the one that, especially defensively, I look at, and as you said, first practice being the other day, he has been absolutely, I think, fantastic defensively, and I really enjoy watching that. The other thing, and we talked about it yesterday, and I asked Ariel Atias his opinion, out of the 3 guys, and Duncan, K. Nunn, and Hero, what's the one that you think, the guy that's last man standing here for the Heat?
What, in terms of we'll be back here next season, or?
I guess just back here next season, or if let's say all 3 of them somehow are back next season, which is the one that you think is going to be the guy when all is said and done? If we have to pick one, they could all fizzle out, but if we have to pick one that's going to come out and be a guy, who do you think that person's going to be?
I could see this team investing or reinvesting in Tyler Hero. Duncan Robinson has proven himself to be a great shooter, a historic shooter. I think he's the youngest player to have hit 450 threes, and that's quicker than Steph Curry and some of the other guys. But that said, Miami's a factory for shooters. Kendrick Nunn is a dog. He's he's in many ways he's an undersized shooting guard, and unfortunately for him, players like that can come around often. It's just a matter of the right scenario, the right environment for them. Tyler Hero was the lottery pick. He's the guy that dropped 37 points in I think it was an Eastern Conference Finals game last season, and I could see why Miami would want to hold on to him. There's a lot that can still be done with him. He's still very young, and there's a lot in his game that could still be explored. So I think Miami would probably do well to stick around with Tyler Hero.
And that seems to be, I think, the answer from everybody. And the clear shot, and as you mentioned, the first part of it is that Miami always finds shooters. They just have that ability to find someone who's going to be able to knock down that three-point shot. And you can always go out and get a guy, let a guy go. You know, it is what it is, and kind of keep moving. Kind of like the how you doing, keep it moving type of thing. What are your thoughts on tonight's game? How do you feel like that's going to go for the Heat?
Well, I think, Miami is in many ways on a roll. I think it's we don't forget very easily the loss that Miami suffered to the Grizzlies last time around. Unfortunately, but not terribly surprisingly, Justice Winslow I believe he will miss time with another injury.
Of course,
Ricky. I think this newly retooled Heat team, all signs point to a victory tonight, but as you and everybody in 5 Reasons Sports knows, I'm legally required to say that they're going to lose. That said, they have everything, on their side to win this game. Miami has wing defenders now that can really torment Memphis's wings. I don't know if Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be back yet, or even if he is back, if he's at full strength. I suspect that Bam is going to have a pretty decent all-around game tonight, and if anything, we need to really, applaud the defense that we've seen out of this Heat team. I mean, you saw the Warriors game. It was kind of eerie how well they were able to defend. Trevor Ariza, I believe, in terms of the deflections that he's been forcing. Granted, he's been coming around in terms of his three-point shot, but defensively, he's doing his job. And I think we have every reason to feel very happy and very confident heading into tonight.
And Ariza's one of those guys that hasn't played in a while, and it was going to take time. I think it's the other thing that people think about. It's like, getting Ariza, getting, Victor Oladipo. These are guys that have not played in a little bit, and it's going to take some time for them to get adjusted into being there. It's not just like plug and play. They're not just going to turn up all of a sudden on a dime. It's going to take a while to get to that point. It's a bit of a stretch coming up here. I mean, you have Memphis tonight, and then you go out on Thursday, you have the Lakers, then you have the Trailblazers on Sunday, and you come back next Tuesday, and you have the Suns, and both the Suns and the Trailblazers games being those late-night tip-offs at 10 p.m. EST here on the East Coast. What are your thoughts on these next 4? I know you say you're legally obligated to say that they're going to be losses, but how do you think they come out of this 4-game stretch? Like, what do you think? Maybe like a 2-2? How do you think that's going to be?
This might be blasphemy on my part, but it wouldn't surprise me if Miami swept this entire stretch. The Phoenix Suns are doing very well, but this Heat team is not the Heat team that Phoenix came in and pretty much spanked from open to close. The Lakers, Miami was lucky to get away with that win earlier this season against the Lakers. I viewed that as more of a Laker loss than a Heat win, even though the standings doesn't care. A win's a win. But, the Lakers they're in trouble right now. They're missing LeBron James and Anthony Davis, 2 high-usage players. Their role players aren't exactly, I think it's obvious how much LeBron and AD are capable of doing with so little.
Right.
There's no real star player on that team. Andre Drummond hurt his toe his first game with the team, and it's not like he's a go-to player where he can carry you to the finish line. Miami has no excuse to lose on Thursday. Portland is going to be tough because Dame and everybody, they are a tough team. But, just the other day, this was actually, I think it was the 5th or the 6th straight loss at the time. Miami kept it close with that Portland team, unfortunately losing at the very last second on a Dame Lillard foul three-point jumper.
Right.
I think Miami has what it needs to go in there and beat the Blazers. Will they do it? That remains to be seen, but I have no reason not to believe that the Heat won't sweep this next stretch of games. They're where they need to be right now.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I may be a little bit different on a sweep. I maybe think like maybe they lose one of them just because that's what always happens. But I think that's not out of the question, obviously. And I have to ask lastly here very quickly, because we were talking about the soccer stuff in the 5R soccer chat just yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you think comes out of the quarterfinals matchups? Like, do you think it's going to be the favorites in City? I guess you could say like Liverpool. Bayern, PSG, I don't think there's really a favorite, but I guess Bayern would be the favorite since they're the past champions.
Right.
Who do you think are the players that come out of that, or the teams, excuse me?
So here's what's funny to me. I'm a City fan. I've been a City fan since about 2016. Ironically, right around the time I needed to pick a club. And since 2016, since Pep has been with this team, we don't, like, for some reason, we find a way to bottle it in Champions. We'll win 100 points in England and we'll do our thing, but for some reason we'll find a way to lose. I think I said this the other day. City's going to have to prove to me that they're going to win these two legs. PSG is going to have to prove to me that A, Neymar is going to actually be healthy enough to play in these games, and B, perform. And then there's also C, will PSG not choke and actually get through? Of course, people are going to make excuses for PSG if they lose, but here's the thing. They spent 220 million euros on Neymar and like 193 million euros for Kylian Mbappe. Go win a Champions League. My goodness, So they're on paper the favorites, but they are show-me teams the same way the Sixers and the Bucks are for me in the NBA. We'll have to see. It's gonna be great. Thankfully, I've got Paramount Plus, so I'll be able to check those out.
I do as well, and I will be watching as every now and then while I can. I'll be hoping that City destroy Dortmund, just strictly off the fact that I'm a Bayern fan. But again, like I was saying yesterday, man, like I don't know, Erling Haaland, sometimes he can pull a rabbit out of a hat because he is just that talented. So who knows how that'll happen. But Ricky, thank you so much for coming on, man. Again, you can follow him on Twitter at RickyJMark and follow everything he does with 5 Reasons Sports. Ricky, I hope you have a great rest of your day, man.
You too, man. Always a pleasure.
Of course. Would love to get some good Champions League soccer today. I want to just watch some good football without having to rely on my Bayern to provide that good football for me. But we'll see what happens. Coming up, we'll talk a little bit more about soccer. Again, like I said, we're going to have some soccer talk at the end of the first hour, top of the second hour, and then we'll get back to some Dolphins talk with Omar Kelly at 11:30. Sundays at 9 a.m., Juan Cardona dominates the airwaves with Juan on Juan. From sneakers to video games to your favorite South Florida team, tune in every Sunday to Juan on Juan, exclusively on the home for sports talk in South Florida, OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Start your morning every morning at 8 a.m. with 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh. The boys cover all the local sports stories while providing some great Miami Hurricanes insight. Download, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. 4th and 20, 8 to 10 a.m. only at OnsideRadio.com.
Let's be honest. The National Symphony may not be in his future, but he wanted to try violin. So you said yes because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more about keeping your kids safe in your vehicle at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Show him you love him. Keep him safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo. Do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
Oh, God. I got into a yawn a second that we came back. Well, perfect timing. Perfect timing. Wrapping out our run. Oh my geez. Hour one right
Wrapping
now.
up hour one.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean. Derek Ray and Sky Torben, two people who cover the Bundesliga, have recently come out now and said Bayern, this original report from Torben Hoffman, who said Bayern didn't want to comment on a media report suggesting Serge Gnabry underwent an antigen test that was positive. They would neither confirm nor deny. As he says in a tweet, that is the current situation as of 16:45 German time. So, as it currently stands, RMC Sport is reporting that Serge Gnabry went an antigen test, which was positive, and now they're giving him a PCR test. But Sky Sports is now, and that from Torben Hoffman, is saying that that is not the case. So a little bit of an interesting situation going on right now, because who knows what's actually going to go down and happen with Serge Gnabry. It'll be interesting. It also says important to say that in the phase of UEFA, they're only looking for a general willingness on the part of the host cities to have fans. This coming from the Munich venue. So now it's talking about the Euros. It says Munich remains a venue for the Euros this summer. They and the other 11 venues have submitted their proposals ahead of time for possible scenarios with fans. In Munich, it's laced with caveats given the current COVID situation. Of course, in Germany, and especially with English players or any players coming from England to Germany, there's a little bit of a difference. They don't allow it right now because of everything that's going on with the multiple different COVID things and variants and everything like that. So that is another situation happening in club football. And then we had a comment in from Willie Molina talking about the DMX situation. And as it currently stands from what I've last seen, he is still in a reported vegetative state with no lung or brain function is the last thing that I read, which it sucks. It's a horrible situation. It's not something that you want to see, especially not to someone. I mean, obviously you never want anyone to go through that, but obviously it's just horrible to see considering who it is, and it's just kind of one of those situations that it just sucks all around. I think it literally just sucks all around. There's nothing about it that is good. So hopefully something happens. Hopefully something good happens here soon. For those of you who are, I don't know, I'm not even gonna get into that one. It's just hopefully something happens soon. But it's from 56 minutes ago. It says still is continues to be on life support and is in a vegetative state, his former manager says. So that seems to currently still be the situation with DMX. Continues to be on life support. Man, that's a horrible situation. Very, very horrible situation. But I guess you have to just kind of just keep moving now and hope for the best for DMX and his family. Another thing that I saw on a little bit of a lighter note is Chad Ochocinco is going to Cincinnati right now, and the Bengals tweeted at him. Very, very interesting. Could Chad Ochocinco making a return? Could he be lining up at receiver for Joe Burrow this season? No. No. It's yeah, no. But it could be funny. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Sean, if I really quickly here before we get to break, can I get you to watch the Manchester City Borussia Dortmund match today? Is there any chance? Or maybe Liverpool Real Madrid? Any chance at all?
I never say never.
Okay. If one of the games is going good, I'm gonna text you. I'll be like, hey, this game's really close right now. You should turn it on. Can we agree to that? Maybe like you'll be like, you know what? Maybe Kai's telling me the truth this time.
I'll answer the text.
All right. Well, coming up, we're gonna round off hour one.
I cannot commit, so you know.
I understand. We're gonna round off hour one here. Get into hour two, where we'll talk with Omar Kelly at 11:30. We're gonna talk some soccer coming into into the beginning of the second hour, and then we'll get into some strictly Dolphin stuff as we lead up to speaking with Omar Kelly. Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m. I said that one yesterday. Heat and NBA fans can catch Ira Winderman here exclusively at OnsideRadio.com with our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat reports. Catch Ira throughout the week at OnsideRadio.com. And when news breaks, basketball fans know, Onside Radio is the place to get the insight you need.
Hey, is that a faucet running?
Nope. That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest.
It is?
Yeah. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink. The water comes straight from the forest to us. In fact...
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
How do trees clean the air?
They soak up the dirty air on their leaves, branches, and trunks, which means clean air for us.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Yep. But the forest does more than give us clean air and water. It gives us shade for hot days, birds to listen to, and trees to climb.
Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know how cool the forest could be. Hey, let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Onside Radio. No station in South Florida provides more live and local sports talk. Follow us on social media at Onside Radio.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
Hello, Inter Miami CF fans! Download the Drink AR app and play inside a first-of-its-kind virtual soccer stadium, hosted by Bodega Trevento and Inter Miami CF, and celebrate your passion for soccer from the comfort of your own home. Find the download links on our Instagram account at Treventus and get our wines delivered straight to your home with a discount for all Inter Miami CF fans. Discover Trevento, a shared passion.
It's time for Kai's Corner on OnsideRadio.com. To talk to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. To reach out on the text line, it's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm on your home for sports talk, OnsideRadio.com.
Hour 2 here at beautiful Inter Miami CF Stadium. Oh my God, what the heck? Something dropped outside the stadium. That made a loud noise. I am that man, Kai Chen Chisholm, of course.
Yeah, you are.
You can find me on Twitter at Samurai Radio, 2 I's and Samurai, and then Radio, RADIO. While you're there, vote in our polls that we have for today. Of course, 4 polls a day here at Kai's Corner. We have number 1. Who has the brighter future for the Dolphins, Myles Gaskin or Savon Ahmed? You still have about an hour and a half left to vote in that poll. Right now, Myles Gaskin just taking the cake at 81.2%, even with another 130 votes that have come in since the last time we referenced it at the top of the first hour. It is still the same percentage, 81.2 to 18.8. So a lot of it's interesting stuff there. I thought maybe Myles would continue to run, but it's staying. He's running away with it, but at least some people are voting for Savon Ahmed. Second one there is, what is your confidence level for the Miami Heat to make a deep playoff run? You still, again, an hour and a half left to vote. If you want to go out there and do that, I encourage you to do so, as well as interacting with me in the YouTube comments if you do not already. It says extremely high at 43.6, mid-tier at 50.3, and lowest can be at 6. So people are kind of feeling in the middle about the Heat right now, which is understandable. Third one there is, are you okay with the Texas Rangers opening to full capacity for sporting events? I hate it here, leading the way at 57%. And then pack the house, baby, at 43% there for the Texas Rangers as they open to full capacity just the other day. And then lastly, are you watching the UCL, the Champions League, quarterfinals over the next 2 weeks? We have a matchup tomorrow or today. We have 2 matchups today, 2 matchups tomorrow here in Champions League soccer. I encourage anyone to watch if you don't already. I find it to be extremely entertaining, and I think that anyone watching would as well. We have a lot of good fixtures coming. And if you don't watch soccer, let me bring you in here and let me give you why I believe you should watch these matchups at least today. I don't think tomorrow's matchups are going to be that entertaining, I have to say. And we'll talk with Austin Roblard, host of Red Card Radio here at Onside from 11 to 1 on Saturdays. We'll talk with him tomorrow about the Champions League soccer fixtures that are happening on Wednesday and, of course, everything that happened today. So we'll talk to him and ask him his thoughts on those. I encourage you to watch the ones today. You have 2 very good matchups. Unfortunately, they're both at the same time. So you're going to have to pick and choose which one you would want to watch. Or if you see that one's doing good, you might want to go to that one and stuff like that. Everything along those lines. You can find them on Tuned In, CBS All Access, which is just Paramount Plus, and then Paramount Plus. The first matchup, again, though, at the same time that they are, we're just going to talk about first matchup, second matchup, and what I want to discuss. Real Madrid versus Liverpool. That should be, and is shaping out to be, a fantastic game. I mean, it would be shocking if it was not a good game. The amount of just everything that can happen, what can go on in the game. Liverpool, they've been bad in the UCL, but they've been good in the Champions League thus far. I mean, RB Leipzig is pretty easy when you get them in the Champions League when you're Liverpool. But they've done great. Real Madrid has had a very poor year, but now they're starting to come back into it. They're starting to get better. They're in the the run for La Liga now. Zinedine Zidane is getting better as a manager again. It is a very good matchup, and it's a rematch of the final that they had in 2019, 2018, excuse me, when Liverpool lost and Real Madrid won. Of course, for anyone that watches world football, you would know that it was a beautiful goal scored by Gareth Bale, a just absolute outstanding goal. I mean, it's beautiful. If you have the chance to do so later on, I encourage you to watch Gareth Bale's goal versus Liverpool. You can search it up find it on YouTube for sure. A beautiful, beautiful bicycle kick into the net, an outstanding goal. Of course, you have the mistake by Loris Karius. Loris Karius, who was the goalkeeper at the time, German goalkeeper. Now I don't know where he is. I think he was in the Bundesliga very recently, actually, but he's still owned by Liverpool, but has been on loan into a couple places. He of course had a notorious mistake. A Karim Benzema goal, happened because of that. It should be a very good matchup. I mean, look, on Liverpool's side of things, you still have Mohamed Salah, who is fantastic. You have some pretty, Shaqiri is good. He's not like great, but he's pretty good as well. Oxlade-Chamberlain is pretty good. Right now, Henderson is injured, which sucks for them. Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino, Naby Keita, Milner, Thiago Alcantara that came from Bayern Munich, though he hasn't been playing very well. Then you still have Fabinho and Wijnaldum. And when it comes to big matchups, I'm hoping that though Thiago has not been fantastic for Liverpool, he was, even last year, not doing great for Bayern. He came through when it mattered most. And I think that that's something that I hope comes out from Thiago while playing, because as a midfielder, he can be one of the best in the world. And if he plays the way that he can, that would be fantastic. Good morning, Herman. I see you saying from Honduras. Hello, how are you doing, man? Glad that you can join up with us today. Then the other thing, you have a great young right back in Trent Alexander-Arnold. You have Andrew Robertson, who's been doing very well at left back. The biggest issue for Liverpool, and it's another issue as well for Real Madrid. So this is going to be two games where it could be a high goal scoring right now. Ozan Kabak is currently on loan, I believe, to Liverpool from, if I'm not mistaken, it's Schalke. It might leave me, but I'm pretty sure he's on loan from Schalke with an option to buy, I believe. But right now, Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk, the two best center backs right now for Liverpool, are both injured. So their defense is quite poor. They do still have Alisson, who will be there, and Adrian will be the backup. So you still have a very good keeper, as does Real Madrid and Thibaut Courtois. So you still have some very good keepers in the net. So there's still a chance that some of these goals could not go through. But for Real Madrid, Daniel Carvajal, their right back for many years right now, out with injury. Sergio Ramos and Rafael Varane, the two starting center backs, pretty much all the time for Real Madrid, at least the past 3-4 years, both of them are out with injury. So two pretty much world-class center. Well, I guess Rafael Varane's not world-class, but he's a very good center back. These are two extremely good center backs for Real Madrid, both out. Both of them are out. Insane stuff. So defensively, this could be crazy. Odriozola was with Bayern last year. He's an okay right back. Mendy is a pretty good left back, so he could possibly bring stuff there for them. Eder Militao, he's not a horrible center back, but then, of course, at left back, you're not going to start Mendy. You want to start Marcelo. And then, again, when it comes to the right back position, Odriozola, a lot of the reason why he didn't play for Bayern last year was, one, while he was on loan. Benjamin Pavard was in very good form, but he was just a liability, and I think he will continue to be that for Madrid. Then in their midfield, right now, Valverde is doubtful. He's been very good. He's from Uruguay, 22 years old. He's been outstanding. Then you still just have some of those old names like Isco, who doesn't really do much right now, Toni Kroos, Modric, you have Casemiro. These are two teams that right now are dealing with a lot of injuries and a lot of kind of players that they've had for so long aging. At the same time, though, they're two very good teams in club football, and this should be a great matchup. Again, you have Marco Asensio, Karim Benzema, Lucas Vazquez, who currently right now is dealing with contract issues with Real Madrid. Vinicius Jr., who's a little bit overrated, but you have them there. You have Rodrigo, another Brazilian there. There's a very big history with Brazilians in Real Madrid. You have Rodrigo, who's there. There's a lot of goal-scoring opportunities for Madrid, as well as the fact that there's a lot of goal-scoring opportunities for Liverpool. Both defenses being out. It'll be interesting to see when the lineups come out what's happening with that. The second game And for anyone that wants to know, I think over 2 legs that's going to be a 3-2 Liverpool win. Of course, everything for soccer when it comes to the knockout stages of club football is done through 2 legs. So you have the first leg this week. The second leg will be next Wednesday in the following fixture. When it comes here for Dortmund versus Man City, you look at this on paper and you see a game in which Borussia Dortmund should get absolutely blown out of the water. They should get completely ran over, and Man City should be on to the semifinals. Another time where, Guardiola is there having to, once again, Pep against the world, and we'll see what happens. Can he get there? He hasn't gotten there since he was with Barcelona. Can he finally get there? That's what everyone's going to be asking. That's what's going to be on everyone's mind. Can Pep get there? His teams who are dominant all the time who are dominant, can they get to the promised land? Can they finally get to the point where they can get to that we all know that they can get to? Will that happen? I say this, and I think that if anyone wants to watch a game that could potentially be good, Liverpool and Real Madrid should be a good game. Over 2 legs especially, that should be great football to watch. But if you want to sit down and maybe take a chance at a game that could be very interesting, it would be City versus Dortmund. And if you look at the past couple games, Dortmund has been very poor in the Bundesliga. Very poor, dropping points left and right. But they have a young striker, a young, fantastic striker in Erling Haaland that can make something happen on a dime, and he could make it happen to the point where you have a great situation for Dortmund. He is a fantastic player, and he alone can be able to do something. It sucks right now that Jadon Sancho is injured. That could have been a great matchup. Mokuku has now been injured. He's a German international. Well, he's not at that level yet, but he's 16. There's a lot of possibility. Jude Bellingham is a very young English midfielder who has a lot of promise. Marco Reus, though I don't like him, he's a pretty good midfielder. You have Torgan Hazard on the wing. Mahmoud Dahoud has been fantastic, by the way, in recent games. Absolutely fantastic. Him along with Emre Can, though Emre Can has been playing more in the in a center back kind of role, like a high pressing, or pushing up high into the midfield center back. He's more of a midfielder, but he's been playing at a center back role. He is fantastic. Julian Brandt usually is very good, and last year he had a fantastic season with Dortmund. There's a lot. Mario Akanji, though, I don't think him and Mats Hummels have been doing very good. That's a possibility to be something. Schultz is pretty good at the the wing back position, as is Guerrero. Thomas Munier you still have there. Piszczek you have as well. There's a lot of promise, and Roman Bürki is not that bad of a keeper either. Neither is Marvin Hitz. Neither of them are bad keepers. There's a lot of potential for that to be a very good game. I will sit here and say that I think and I hope that you give this game a chance. I don't think it's going to be a situation over 2 legs where Dortmund wins, and the class on Man City should absolutely take over. But if you want to watch a game over 2 legs that has the possibility to be what those of us who love world football love about it, Dortmund versus Man City could be that matchup. I'm not going to etch in stone that it should be a good game over 2 legs, as I think Madrid and Liverpool will, as I think Bayern and PSG will, as I think Porto and Chelsea will. But there is a lot of promise for that City and Dortmund game to be something if we could just get anything at all from that Dortmund side. I really, and we'll talk again, like I said, with Austin Robillard tomorrow about all the games that happened today, aka City, Liverpool, or City, Dortmund, Madrid, Liverpool. And then we'll also talk to him about what he thinks about the games tomorrow, being Bayern, PSG, and Porto, Chelsea. I don't think the Bayern PSG game tomorrow is going to be fantastic. PSG has a lot of players out right now with injuries and COVID. Bayern right now reportedly will lose Serge Gnabry. Who knows if that's going to happen over the 2 legs. Right now, they already don't think he's going to play tomorrow over a sore throat. Who knows what will happen over 2 legs. And then I don't think that Porto versus Chelsea is going to be great to watch. I just don't. I think one of those teams will come out of it, and that'll be that. I don't think it's going to be a fantastic game over 2 legs to actually watch. But again, if you're going to give a game a chance today, that has the potential to be something fun to watch, where it's a giant going down to a lower team. I think Dortmund versus City could be fun to watch. I know that City fans are going to think otherwise. They're going to walk through Dortmund. I believe that will happen as well. But there's just the slight chance. There's a slight chance that Dortmund will be able to go out there and make something happen. And I think that would be awesome. Like, I would love to watch that, even as a Dortmund hater and a Bayern fan. I think that would be great. Coming up, we'll talk a little bit more. We're going to lead up to the Dolphins before we talk with Omar Kelly. So we'll talk about the Dolphins coming up next. Every Saturday at 11 a.m., soccer fans can connect with Austin Roblard on Red Card Radio. From the Premiership to the MLS, catch up with your favorite team, including our very own Inter Miami CF. Listen to Red Card Radio every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with Austin Roblard, exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
If you missed Omar Kelly and the Miami Dolphins report sponsored by EJDconstruction.com today, you missed this.
Who are you picking as we currently stand? Let's say that it's 6 overall, no matter what. They're not trading down. At 6, who are you selecting?
You know, to me, I want a proven thing. I want something as solid as Eric from EJD Construction, just something reliable, consistent. I know that I'm going to get what I pay for. And to me, that's Jamar Chase.
Omar Kelly and the Miami Dolphins report, brought to you by EJD Construction. Count on a company that's an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. EJDconstruction.com.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Welcome back to Kai's Corner. To reach out to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Back to Kai's Corner.
So, there's a report coming out that the Falcons might trade down. Who knows if that actually happens? It would probably benefit them more to stay, in my opinion, because there's I don't see them moving away from Matt Ryan right now. I don't know if that's really what's going to happen. Although I've seen a couple of things where people have thought that they could potentially maybe go after a guy like a Kyle Trask in the later rounds and maybe go after someone like that to sit behind Matt Ryan. I don't think that would be too bad for Kyle Trask. I don't think that Trask is going to sit here and be a fantastic player in the NFL. Of course, I would love for him to do good as he, was a Gators quarterback for the past 2 seasons after Felipe Frank's injury, and then he transfers to Arkansas. So I would love for Kyle Trask to be something in the NFL. I don't think he's going to end up being something in the NFL when all is said and done, but I would love for him to be, and that would be a very good situation for Trask if that does happen. Like, let's say the Falcons stick at 4, they don't draft a quarterback, they draft like Penei Sewell, or they draft Jamar Chase, or they draft, which Jamar Chase would be the weird one there, or they draft Kyle Pitts, then that would be good. That would make sense for them, and it would be great for their offense. I think maybe Trask would actually do pretty well there. I think that would be a situation if you get him in the later rounds. That could be something. It would suck if Kyle Trask goes to like New England or something and he turns out to be something. That would be just the ultimate, kick in the guts there. We're going to talk with Omar Kelly in the next segment, a part of our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report here at Inter Miami, where you can, or Onside Radio, Inter Miami CF Stadium, and you can hear Ira talk a lot when he's on for the Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat report. We have, again, the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Omar. That happening all throughout the week on all different shows, so you can go out and listen to that. We'll talk to him next. In just about, I would say, like maybe 7 minutes here, maybe a little bit more. When we talk to him, I want to ask him about his thoughts on the poll, for one of the polls for today being, who does he think has the brighter future for the Dolphins, Nick Gaskin or Savon Ahmed? Though, as he stated multiple times, he wants to go out there and get a running back. He wants someone to be able to shore up what we have right now. And I think that poll doesn't say, oh, I think one of these guys is going to be fantastic and they're going to stay. I just think that, let's ask the question and see, who do we think is going to be the guy? Who do we think is going to be someone that comes out of that and is, there with whoever we draft? But I do think that going out there and getting a running back is something that they absolutely 100% need to do and need to address. They have to do it in the draft, whether it's a Najee Harris, whether it's a Javonte Williams, whether it's a Travis Etienne. They have to come out of this draft and go out there and have someone that is the guy, that can go out there and be the guy no matter what. Like, that needs to happen. And I think that is going to be one of the biggest things. Something that I was having a conversation with as well, and I'm going to continue this just a little bit because I'm having this conversation with Willie Molina here in the chat on YouTube. He mentioned, he asked me in, and I'll read it for anyone that isn't watching on YouTube and anyone listening back in podcast form so you can get the context of what's happening. He asked me if I liked soccer from South America. He said he lived in Colombia. I don't know if it's Medellin or Medellin because it says Medellin, and I don't know if that. But that's what I thought it was, Medellin. I don't know if it was maybe YouTube that must mess something up there. But that's what I thought originally. So Willie, let me know if I am right there. That is Medellin. But he said, I lived in Medellin, Colombia. My team is Envigado FC, and they're a farm team for bigger franchises here. Asked about the World Cup and my opinion on James Rodriguez. I love James. I didn't like how he left Bayern after his 2-year loan because it looked like he was going to stay after his first season. I mean, he was instrumental in the midfield for Bayern, and I think did a fantastic job. I loved watching him play, and just it was one of those things where Bayern, at the time, they had never gone out there and made these splashes, right? They had never gone out there and gone after one of those big-name people. But with James, it was one of those things where, all right, loan to buy, they could go out there and get someone that is a dominant midfield player when he's at his top. And I absolutely love James. I didn't like how he exited, saying with the cold and this and that. And I like that stuff. I was like, come on, man. Like, you're in Germany, you're in Munich. It's going to be cold. It's going to be rainy when you go out there and you play teams like Bielefeld, or you go out and play teams like Schalke. Like, that's going to happen. It's Germany, man. The weather's going to be rough in places. So I didn't like how he exited, and I regret some of the tweets I might have made, like being harsh on James, but I love James. I absolutely love him. I think that he is a fantastic football mind, and that's one of the things why Thomas Müller is my favorite player. It's just that Tomas Muller is my favorite player that's ever played the game of soccer, the beautiful game. He is my favorite player because when I started to learn more about soccer more and more there, and I think that's why we all get attached to players, right? I mean, you get attached to a certain player in any sport for any reason. Like, you know, when it comes to basketball, yes, of course, it's D-Wade. He's Miami. But he's my favorite player because of what he did, right? He represented everything Miami while he was here. He represented the pride and the culture of the city, and he did everything. He was Miami born and bred, even though he wasn't born here. And so you get to love them. You know, the reason why Tomas Muller is one of my favorite players and why I really love James is when you start to learn a little bit more about the game of soccer and you go through and you look at things, it's just the mind aspect of it. Looking at how they see certain lanes that you didn't even know could have been there, how certain passes get through, the technique. I love James. I think I love that he was doing good at Everton. You mentioned here that Envigado FC is not a good team. It's a professional team, but a farm team. They develop players and sell them off. I mean, that happens a lot. That's kind of what happens in Germany with a lot of these teams. Schalke has done that for quite some time. Dortmund, for whatever reason, was doing that for a while. Now they're not necessarily doing it as much, but they were doing it for quite some time as well. So I can understand that. And you said you're enjoying your vacation. You're going back to work Saturday morning. Hey, I hope that you enjoy your vacation, man. I like that you said you're enjoying it. I hope you continue to do so. I think that, look, when you're on vacation, one of the things that I do when I'm on vacation specifically is this is going to be bad. I block my bosses. I just put them all on mute. If there's anyone that I need to talk to or that could talk to me or try to get anything while I'm on vacation, they all go on mute. I do not answer anyone at all. Do not do anything. I just put myself, put all of them on mute. The second I touch back down in Miami, then I take it all off of mute. Anything I might need to answer, I get to. But if I'm on vacation, I don't talk to anyone. I just enjoy my vacation and enjoy everything like that. And that's what I love to do. We're going to head out into a break here pretty soon. And then we're going to talk with Omar Kelly, a part of our EJD Construction Miami Dolphins report. Again, we'll ask Omar everything when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. I want to ask him about the Sam Darnold trade because he had some comments about that yesterday as well regarding Teddy Bridgewater. So it's not going to be strictly, Dolphins, but we'll talk to him about that stuff. And I do want to ask him because last week I told him it was going to rain, and he said it was going to be good for his crops, or his crops and his plants and everything. So I want to ask Omar if it was good for him and his plants and everything. What do you think, Sean? You think that everything was good for Omar last week?
I don't know if it rained enough. I mean, it rained good for a minute, but now it's been pretty dry.
We'll see. We'll see what Omar thinks, but we'll talk to him. Again, that'll be a part of the EJD Construction Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly. You're listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. You're listening to OnsideRadio.com.
Now streaming online. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Listen to OnSideRadio.com anywhere by downloading the Radio.net app in your app store, on your browser at Radio.net, OnSideRadio.com, South Florida sports leader.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Riddle me
me this, with all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Congratulations to the men's national basketball champion Baylor Bears. They beat Gonzaga 86-70. Gonzaga already a plus 550 for next year's title, and Baylor sits at 850. Busy South Florida sports night. The Miami Marlins host Game 2 with the St. Louis Cardinals. Sandy Alcantara on the mound. The Florida Panthers, they look to make it 7 in a row tonight. They visit the Carolina Hurricanes. That puck drops at 7. And the Miami Heat host the Memphis Grizzlies at the AAA tonight. Tip-off 8 p.m. And also yesterday, the Jets, they got rid of Sam Darnold, trade him to the Panthers for a 6th rounder in 2021 and a 2nd and 4th rounder in 2022. And the Home Run Derby. Balls will be flying out of Coors Field in Denver as they are scheduled to host this year's All-Star Game after being moved from the Atlanta Braves. This is South Florida's home for local sports talk. This is OnSideRadio.com.
Brace yourself. You might not hear what you want. You can always expect Omar to keep it real, whether you like it or not. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Sun Sentinel writer Omar Kelly. EJD is your one-stop shop, custom home builder, and general contractor for residential construction. Call them 305-433-4843. Find them on Facebook at EJD Construction. Here's Omar Kelly with your Miami Dolphins report segment.
All right, we're going to have Omar Kelly on here in a little bit. It says, yes, pronounce it on the spot. All right, so I think I got it. I think I got down what it needs to be there. And then it says, Falcao is our Dan Marino here. Oh, man. That's kind of funny. Like, I think Falcao has always been one of those guys that's always been kind of, I guess not, I don't know. He's always been one of those weird things in club football. Like, I think that Falcao has always been one of those, it's like, you look at him and you're seeing someone that's like, oh, he has the potential to be so good. And even just some of the things, I mean, I guess it's not like a direct thing, but I look at Falcao and I always see him as kind of like the, this is going to sound so bad. I don't think that Falcao is equivalent to like Michy Batshuayi, but I think that it's one of those guys where you look at in every stop that they've been in, they've had an important goal. You get what I mean? Like, not like I'm not going to try to directly put him towards like being that level of player, but I think that I will put him like, he obviously is better than Michy Batshuayi. But anyways, we're going to have on Omar Kelly here, part of our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. You can follow him, of course, on Twitter at Omar Kelly. Omar, the first thing I have to ask is, did it rain for you last week?
What did you just say?
I said, did it rain for you last week?
Oh, no. It did rain for me, absolutely.
Okay.
Just one day. But I wish I would have put the wheat and feed down. But, yes, if you could tell me which day it's going to rain this week, I'd appreciate it so I could get that wheat and feed down.
There's apparently not supposed to be any rain this week, but Thursday last week was that day that it was supposed to absolutely pour. And it stalled for so long, and then all of a sudden some of the rain came by. But
yeah, and it was overcast for like 2 days after that, and I kept thinking it was going to rain. I barbecued really early on Saturday because it just looked overcast. But
It's just Miami weather being Miami weather. You know, it is how it is. I want to ask Omar, first off the top, a part of one of the polls we have today, we have a question on kind of the running backs. I know you want to go after and get a running back in the draft, but out of the two of the guys that got kind of the main carries last year, the Myles Gaskin and the Savon Ahmed, what is one that you look at as kind of the guy who has a brighter future to stay on the team and with the team in general? Are we still... Oh, okay. Well, we're going to get Omar back here on a second. Something happened. We'll ask him once we get back. It dropped. I think we got him back now. This is radio. It is, you know, we go with the flow. All right. Omar, did you hear anything of what I said with the question?
No, I did not.
Okay. It's a part of the one of the polls we had today. Who do you think out of Myles Gaskin and Savon Ahmed have a brighter future with the Dolphins?
Myles Gaskins, because he's proven it, he's done it, and in fact, he played ahead of Ahmed at the University of Washington. So I think both of them have talent, and if you look at the productivity of Myles Gaskin, if he had been a rookie running back in this draft, we would be talking about him being one of the better rookie running backs in last year's draft. So let's not turn our nose up at his production. Yes, I understand, and I'm leading the campaign for them to add talent at running back, just because I feel like I'm not certain that Myles Gaskin will be a 16-game contributor,
right?
Or an every down all-purpose back. But I think he should be really proud of what he's accomplished, and so should Dolphin fans.
Yeah, I think he's one of those where you look at and you're like, okay, this is one of those guys where we didn't even know if he was going to really be on the roster. We thought someone else would end up being the starter, and then game one he came out starting running back, getting the load of the carries, and I think he did a lot for his production, more than what would have been even asked from him, thinking about him being one of those picks last season or 2 seasons ago. Second to that, though not Dolphins related, of course, Sam Darnold no longer a New York Jet. We're assuming now Zach Wilson absolutely will be the number 2 overall pick. So 1 and 2 and possibly 3, who knows, are set now. What do you think of the trade? Going to Carolina, now Teddy Bridgewater's been allowed to kind of seek somewhere else. How do you feel about Darnold getting a second chance now with the Panthers?
I understand it. I'm not of the opinion that Sam Darnold is this stud that is going to change in the franchise. I don't really think he's that good. And yeah, I've seen him up close, and I've actually seen him play some good games against the Dolphins, but I don't think he's I heard Mike Tannenbaum call him a B+ quarterback, and I'd probably say he's probably a C+ B- quarterback. But I do agree, the height, the ceiling is probably Kirk Cousins. The problem I have is that, he'd never beat out Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater outperformed him based on everything I heard that was going on in New York, and actually my conversations with players on that team. Teddy Bridgewater beat him out that year that the Jets traded him to New Orleans.
Yeah.
So what makes me believe that Sam Darnold, even though he's more experienced now, is going to be able to beat out Teddy Bridgewater again? I'm sure he's seeking a trade elsewhere, and where else is Teddy Bridgewater going to go, to be honest with you? And who's going to honor his $18 million contract, which, props to him, is a large portion of it. I believe like $13 million of it is guaranteed.
Yeah, with the Teddy stuff, and it came to mind as soon as we were kind of going through it. Do you think that Teddy's kind of getting the Tyrod treatment right now? Like, where it's kind of, you go there, you essentially beat out whoever is the guy waiting, even if it's a rookie or something, and then if you have sort of even like the slightest of a good to average year, they kind of just say, all right, well, we're going to cut you, or you're going to go somewhere else, and then kind of moving on. Like, do you think because of that injury that Teddy had in Minnesota that he's not getting an actual chance?
I think there are a lot of factors why Teddy isn't getting the actual chance that he's earned or deserves. Props to him. Unfortunately, I think color and race have a lot to do with it. Unfortunately, the climate for black quarterbacks has been horrendous for the last 30 years, and it's still bad, even though the majority of the flagship quarterbacks in the league are African Americans. They just have to go through so much. If you just look at Justin Fields and what he's going through now from a perception standpoint about he's not smart, he's not a hard worker, these are all coded words, stigmas, things that people have attached to the African American quarterbacks for decades, and decades and decades. But Teddy, he's one of the more fortunate because African American quarterbacks rarely ever get a second chance. They rarely ever get to become the Michael Vick or the Dante Culpepper or the Donovan McNabb, where they get a second chance to start somewhere else. Usually it's the white quarterbacks who get a second chance to reemerge and prove themselves. And Teddy had that chance, and he seized on it, and he got a second contract and was paid handsomely. Now, after one season without their star running back, the Carolina Panthers seem to be ready to move on and invest in a quarterback who's done less.
Do you think that because of everything happening with Deshaun now, and maybe Carolina missing out on other quarterbacks, that's why they made this move? Because I completely agree with you, and I was kind of banging the table yesterday because there was a legitimate argument in one of our chats for 5 reasons about Darnold being something that he could be great, and I was just sitting there like I've never seen what he can be great at, that he can be this great guy. It's been 3 years of kind of like
who can be great, Darnold?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, Darnold
I don't see it.
Great.
I don't see it.
No, I don't see that.
But do you think that's why they want to move, like that they just feel desperate, the Panthers, and that's why they make a move for a guy? Because Teddy wasn't horrible.
Teddy wasn't horrible. I look at it from this standpoint just to justify the decision. They made it very glaringly obvious that they wanted to do better than Teddy Bridgewater, or they wanted to move on. It's just something about him. And I suspect this probably has to do with his limited arm strength, that the Carolina Panthers are certain that they want to move on. They can do better. They want a quarterback who can run the things that they want to run. And I'm pretty sure they don't feel like Teddy Bridgewater can do that. Teddy Bridgewater hasn't proven that he could put a franchise on his back either. So, and neither is Sam Darnold. And Sam's younger. When you look at the contracts of Sam Darnold, they say they're going to pick up his 5th-year option. I personally wouldn't, which is why I thought it would have been hard for the Jets to move him, because what people don't understand is the 5th year this year is under the new CBA, it is fully guaranteed. Before it was just guaranteed for injury. Now it is fully guaranteed. So once you pick up that 5th year, the Carolina Panthers are committing, I believe it's 20. It comes up to 13 a year, so $26 million over the next 2 years to Sam Darnold. And if you add that out, that's 13 a season, which isn't for a quarterback that you're going to try out. So it's not that bad. So it's pretty much a 2-year, $26 million deal, which isn't that bad. But if he can't beat out Bridgewater or he isn't good next year, you just wasted $20-something million.
Yeah, and one of the last things I want to ask you here on this topic, what do you think about the Adam Gase thing? As someone tweeted out the other day that each team in the Jets and the Dolphins, Adam Gase left, and they've kind of done similar moves. Do you think that Gase gets another shot, even as maybe like an offensive coordinator, ever again?
Probably, because the league is about who you know and the connections that you have, and I think a year or two off the scene, maybe. But Gase is kind of reminiscent of his mentor. People don't realize this, but Mike Martz is really his mentor. And they both have very similar problems. Good offensive minds. They just, they have personalities that grate on people, and they run their course. Once they're done, they're done. And they pissed off so many people that it's really hard. I will say this, and I'm one of the few. Even though me and Gase had his run-ins, I'm one of the few people who will tell you he didn't perform as poorly with the Dolphins as people think that he did, and he didn't perform as poorly with the Jets as people think that he did. Remember, his second year, his starting quarterback catches mono,
right?
And he's starting garbage as a starter.
I don't even think that's fair to garbage. Like he was starting like guys who shouldn't even have ever gotten a chance.
Yeah. His next year, most of the team the good players opt out because of COVID. And Le'Veon Bell, who he never wanted. He clearly rubbed him the wrong way, and he never wanted to be there. That's part of the problem with Gase. I mean, in his final year in Miami, the team quit on him because they didn't want to play for him anymore, and they wanted him fired. With the Jets, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. His personality just grates on people. Now, does that mean that he's a bad quarterback? Bad coach or bad quarterback developer? No, because I will give him the majority of the credit for the turnaround that you see from Ryan Tannehill. While we might have not seen it be fruitful in Miami, he's partly responsible for what you're seeing in Tennessee right now, because Tannehill was turning the corner under him. And I'm sure Sam Darnold will benefit from some of Gase's tutelage. He just won't ever get the credit for it.
Yeah.
Just like Mike Martz is partly responsible for Kurt Warner's success, but he won't get the credit for it.
Yeah. Omar, thank you so much for coming on, man. Again, you can follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. And this is part of our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Omar, man, I hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right, next time it rains, send me a text, man.
Hey, I'll let you. I was tweeting at you, man. I was saying, hey, it's gonna rain.
Okay.
I got you. Don't worry, Omar.
I need a good 3 days of rain, so let me know so I can put that weed feed down.
Yeah, hopefully it'll come soon.
All right. Talk to
All right, Omar. Thank you. Love talking to Omar about that. Coming up, I believe we're going to cross-talk with Owen, round out hour 2 here of Kai's Corner on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Catch a South Florida staple every afternoon as Alex Donno hosts the Man of the Match from 3 to 6 p.m. I will be on there today, actually, at 5:20 to talk some soccer. Donno covers everything from football to MMA. Tune into one of the most complete sports shows in the country with the Man of the Match with Alex Donno, 3 to 6 p.m. exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
This has been the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Omar Kelly. From additions to home remodeling, call Eric at 305-433-4843. Count on a company that's an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. EJDconstruction.com.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Enter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love. Including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Get the brutal honesty every weekday noon to 3 p.m. with a Big O and the Onside Zone on your home for sports talk in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com.
Let's be honest. The National Symphony may not be in his future, but he wanted to try violin. So you said yes because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more about keeping your kids safe in your vehicle at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that. Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
The fighting spirit of the Marine Corps is born of battles won. Battles won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's a promise made to you for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
Rounding off hour 2. Want to thank all you guys for joining, whether you're listening live or whether you're watching and listening on YouTube here on this beautiful Tuesday morning. And you still have just about 20 minutes to vote in the poll if you haven't already. Of course, those are all at my Twitter, at Samurai Radio. Also retweeted. It's been a bad English day. Retweeted by the Onside Radio Twitter as well. Got all 4 polls up. One about the Dolphins, one about the Heat, one about the Texas Rangers opening their stadium up, to full capacity, and then one about the quarterfinals here for the Champions League. Now we have Big O in studio for the crosstalk. I want to ask, how are your feelings about the Rangers opening up to full capacity?
I think it's typical of what's going on in Texas, brother. I mean, it's consistent. I mean, that's the thing. You gotta give them a lot of credit. They're consistently stupid, and that happens here in Florida, Texas and Florida, and some of the stuff that's gone on in California, and it's either one extreme or the other. There's no common sense, which is usually in the middle.
Right.
That's why you have the far left and the far right, and they're the ones that kind of screw everything up because they take everything to extremes. And those idiots obviously were taking it to an extreme because they were not all vaccinated.
Of course not. 40,000 plus people.
Right. So that you just created a super spreader event, kind of like what Paul Pierce did. Except on a smaller scale, of course.
What do you think about that Paul Pierce stuff? Now he's gone from ESPN. I mean, he kind of. Do you think that
it was the easiest prediction I've ever made in sports radio in 31 years? Like a couple people tweeted back to me yesterday, "Hey, good call." I go, "Come on, man! Anybody can call that.
Yeah.
The mouse ain't gonna have it, dude. Come on." It's just too funny. But
I think it's. I hope that it's like kind of I don't know. I hope that it's just like a random occurrence and that maybe it's not something that's going to keep happening with Paul. Because I think it's one of those things where it's like clearly something is not like right, at least in the moment. So I hope it's not one of those reoccurring things. Because it's kind of like, even if you put some of the things beside you and everything like that, and you don't want to kind of like harp on things. That's one thing that I've always thought about with like with Kanye right now, where it's like Kanye clearly is not like there, or at least in the moments where he's had those moments, like he has clearly not been all there. And I think people, obviously you're going to rag on him because that's like the popular thing to do, but I think at the same time it's like, hey, you should also want to be on the side where, man, like I kind of hope that person gets some help so that they're not going completely off the rails.
Yeah, but you don't see that there. That was just.
No, I'm just,
this is a dude that was just No, he just didn't have common sense. That's all.
His response was a little.
Let's not label all stupidity like there's some kind of thing wrong.
Well, I'm just saying, I hope that there isn't. You get me? I hope that it doesn't get to that point.
I think he's.
I hope it's just a blimp in
No, I think he's just your typical arrogant athlete. And former arrogant athlete.
There's an A word that needs to go there. It isn't athlete.
I use this term a lot, this analogy a lot, that they think they're Nico Toscani, that they're above the law.
Right.
You're a little young for that, but that's a Steven Seagal movie that's called Above the Law, and his character's name was Nico Toscani. And so they used to think that he was above the law because he would go after the bad guys and he'd take it to the extreme. You know what I mean? So there are these athletes that, and entertainers and politicians and people of power, you know, that they abuse their power and then they think they can get away with anything.
Right.
Whether you're Bill Cosby or whatever, or you're Harvey Weinstein, or you're Cuomo or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
you think you can push the envelope, and he literally thought, it's my time off. I can, because, you know, I had those callers yesterday, or listeners and texters and text people. Oh, hey, it's his life. He can do whatever he wants. Yeah, you can. If you're just Joe Schmo, go do whatever you want, dude. Nobody cares. But if you work for ESPN Disney, you better watch your ass, dude. It's pretty simple. Because I love these ignorant people. Oh, well, it's a free country. He should be able to do what he wants. Yeah, technically you can. And technically, when you're Joe Schmo, you can say anything you want, even racist, even unsensitive. But if you work for a corporation and you think you can do what Joe Schmo does, no, you're wrong.
Not a chance.
Right.
Yeah.
So most of the people listening to us can have the same party that actually Paul Pierce had, and they would be, you know, celebrated by their friends and all that, and that inner circle. Nobody else would give a shit. But if you actually are a politician or an actor or a musician or an athlete, and you're working for a corporation that has to answer to people, that's a problem for you. And he didn't have the common sense to figure that out. That's what I said yesterday. A minute in, he doesn't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
5 minutes in, he doesn't think it's a bad idea. 10 minutes in, he doesn't think it's a bad idea. So at no point did he ever have awareness.
Yeah. All right, quickly here, what's coming up on the show?
We're going to have Kurt Heelan at 2:20, so we'll talk a little basketball. I'm working on a couple of other guests, too, to finish finalizing, but hopefully we will be able to do it before we get on. But so far, Kurt Heelan at least at 2:20.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right, well, thank you guys so much for listening in. And if you're watching on YouTube as well, thank you for chatting with me so far this morning. Hope all of you guys have a great rest of your day. Oh, I hope your show goes well as it always does.
Just don't ask for rain, damn it.
We'll catch you guys tomorrow morning.
No rain!
We'll catch you guys tomorrow.